Well, hello and welcome to the first episode of the Reloading Rant. And this is basically where I complain about something you may or may not give a shit about. But for today, I want to talk about, is reloading worth it, right? Like, there's a pretty substantial barrier to entry with the equipment and the difficulty in finding things like powder, primers. I mean, Jesus, these things, they're hard to find. Quick caveat, I am not going to show you how to reload ammo because it violates YouTube's terms of service about manufacturing ammo, even though it's okay to show ISIS committing genocide, but whatever. That is a different rant. Today we're going to talk about whether or not, it's worth it to reload. A year or two ago, it would be questionable. Like, you could argue one way or the other, especially when it comes to things like 9mm, right? Like, if you're only going to be shooting like range ammo, maybe it's not worth it. Okay. So that said, I looked at some numbers. First, we're going to just talk about 9mm reloading because that's what I have. And yeah, it's going to take a while to recoup your investment, right? To make it worth it overall. But, I think that there's more to it than just, is it financially sustainable? Okay. So while we're doing this, we're just knocking out primers and repriming this brass. It's kind of interesting because it's hard to find the materials right now, right? But, excuse me, that has changed recently to a certain extent. Even a couple weeks ago, it was freaking impossible to find primers and powder. I managed to find them both yesterday. That one's fucked a little bit. It's all right. Managed to find them both. It took 2 stores, but boy, I am not good at this. But I found them both, which changes the narrative a little bit, right? If components are available, it becomes. I wonder if my arm's going in the way. But if components are available, nope, drop that one. Sweet. Might be worth it. So I did some numbers, right? So quick, dumb math, because I'm not super smart. I've got about $260 into tools to do this, right? That's the kit, this 50-year anniversary kit from Lee, single stage press, and then I got some dies, just for 9mm. So $260 into it. So, I mean, really, you have to determine, like, when's your break-even point? When does it become worth it? So, here's the old math, okay? So, I have 500 polymer-plated bullets. I have range brass that I clean myself. I got some powder, and I finally found some primers. So bullets, got 500 for $41. Primers, I got 300 for $23. Powder was $31 for that pound after taxes and stuff like that. So what that comes out to is about 18 cents per round. um, to reload. It's important to remember that the brass was free. So that said, right? So at 18 cents per round, the average, if you get on any of these websites where they're selling ammunition or whatever they're doing, I guess, um, you're looking at about 36 cents per round. Okay. So that delta is pretty easy, right? It's 18 cents per round you're making. So if you look at the numbers, it's going to take about, it's going to take about 1,400 rounds, 1,450 to break even at this point. But with 9 mil, that's not that much, right? Like, especially if you shoot a lot, that's not too much. So sorry, this brass has a little ding in it, but it's all right. So 1,400 rounds, maybe a year and a half worth of ammo if you just shoot casually. But what's interesting is the delta, how quickly that delta changes, really. In if you start reloading rifle ammo, especially, rifle ammo is expensive, right? So I am looking to start reloading 6.5 Creedmoor as well for hunting, right? So I am not a multitasker, sorry. But that changes the delta super quickly, right? So you're going to save like between $1 and $2 per round reloading 6.5 Creedmoor. So that means that you're looking at 160 rounds at the worst case scenario to recoup your investment. Because of the increased accuracy you're going to get, and if you just like doing it, which I do, it becomes worth it pretty quickly. So, again, this is just my rant. Thought I'd throw some numbers out there. Now that parts are becoming more available, I do think it's worth it, especially if it's something you enjoy. And when it comes to precision shooting, maybe 9mm is not the best case study, but if you're going to be looking at long distance rifle shooting, you really want to be able to tailor your rounds to your rifle and your shooting style. Yep. Sorry, quick little break there. I was attacked by a child, which is pretty awesome. So in the few minutes we've been talking, I don't know, I'm not keeping track. We've, deprimed and reprimed 20 rounds. But, yeah, there are much more efficient ways to reload ammo, right? And if you're going to be doing thousands of rounds of 9mm, you do not want a single stage press. It'll drive you batty. But if you're only going to do 50 rounds at a time, right? It's not that big a deal. The dies work really well. You can make a little, I don't know, not really a table, but something to hold your press if you're in a position where you don't have the ability to permanently install something. And yeah, it's surprisingly relaxing. Anyway. So I forgot to start this recording again. So two things real quick. It's kind of interesting. I've had one round. This little shit right here. A little bit of fouling in the primer pocket. That would not take a new primer. So that was kind of interesting. And the second thing is this little Lee primer dropper thingamajig sucks. It's great until you get down to about 5 or so primers left. And then Jesus, that sucker is in there. Let's try another one. So 2 out of 50 on the brass. They didn't want to play with us, and yep. This little thing has a little bit of an issue down at the end. It could also be because I'm new, so it could be my fault. Anyway, that's 49 rounds where we have deprimed and reprimed with these CCI 500 primers. And that's where we're at. With any luck, we'll get to putting some powder in them and some bullets in the next one. Again, let me know if anybody has any ideas on materials or whatever you want to talk about. But we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for coming out.